This video is about to get very surgical. So Jay-Z just did an interview with GQ magazine, right? Which I love. You feel what I'm saying? I love it when one of the cornerstones of the culture come outside and got something to say, especially in pivotal times like this in the culture. You feel me? And even if I disagree, I'm at least going to respect what Jay-Z has to say because of his level of experience and what he's been able to provide to the game. He's really done everything you could do in this game. Also, I will be going live to go over the entire interview because some of the stuff I'm seeing, it's great conversation. Great conversation. You feel what I'm saying? I just wanted to give y'all this clip and talk about this clip real quick before we do anything. But I will be going live to discuss this. So make sure y'all pull up. We're going to do that around 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, okay? But apparently in this clip, Jay-Z says he doesn't know if battling needs to be a part of the culture anymore, right? Now, I know better than to just read the headline and just run with that. You feel what I'm saying? So I am going to listen to what Jay-Z has to say first. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. I'm going to say what I agree and disagree with, and we're going to go from there. All right? Now, before we get started, like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's been playing my new single, F Ice, streaming it, downloaded it. I really love and appreciate y'all for that. Real talk. I will be putting the song in the pinned comments and in the description. So y'all go ahead and check that out. All right. But let's see what Jay-Z talking about.
We love the excitement. And I love the sparring and the music you get. Mm-hmm. But in this day and age, it's so much negative stuff that comes with it that you almost wish it didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, because it's almost like it's a final thing. Now people that like Kendrick hate Drake.
Yeah.
No matter what he makes, no matter what he says, and it goes far too. It's like attack on his character and his thing and it's like, I don't know if I love that.
Okay, Jay-Z. So look, couple things, respectfully, right? First of all, I disagree vigorously. No, I'm playing. No, I'm playing. But first of all, right? This battle isn't the worst thing that's ever happened to the culture. Like, let's just be honest. You feel what I'm saying? People being divided because of rap battles has always been a thing. The stories of how people were reacting to you and Nas. People was fist fighting over you and Nas. People was, there was people who don't rock with Nas today because they rock with you. There's people who don't rock with you today because they rock with Nas. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's always been a part of the culture. The only thing is the internet gives those voices to where you can see what everybody's saying now. That's the only difference between the discourse that used to happen and the discourse now as far as, people talking about the rap aspect. As far as the rap stuff, it's always been like that. Also, right, this isn't the worst thing that's ever happened. Like when we talk about 50 Cent and Ja Rule, bro, people were literally getting hurt over that battle. People were physically being harmed over that battle. When we look at Tupac and Biggie, people lost their lives over that battle, right? There's a whole lot of battles that took place that had way more dangerous implications than this battle. Okay? Now, another thing that I want to point to is the fact that we can't keep avoiding the fact that Drake put himself in this position, right? Yes, he's going to have his character attacked. Yes, he's going to have all these different things. You know why? Because he decided to go below the belt when his opponent tried to give him the option not to go below the belt. And that's because he didn't believe in his ability to deliver, right, outside of going below the belt. He didn't believe in his ability, so he had to get dirty. You see what I'm saying? And when your opponent tells you, don't tell a lie on me, I won't tell the truth about you. When your opponent tells you, we ain't got to get personal, this is a friendly fade, you should keep it that way, right? He's continuously warning him, you playing dirty with propaganda, it blow up on you. He's continuously warning Drake Do not take this somewhere else because it's going to blow up in your face. Kendrick warned him. And what did Drake do? Because of his arrogance, because of his ego, he decided to go below the belt anyway. And now he's dealing with the consequences of that backfiring on him. That's it. That's it. We wouldn't even be having a lot of these conversations if it wasn't for the fact that Drake went below the belt. The allegations against Drake have been out there for years prior to the battle. So when you try to amplify something against Kendrick, and he turns around and amplifies something against you, but your song was worse, and his allegations have more validity to them, now you're gonna get dissected. The same way that he was hoping people were gonna do to Kendrick. He was hoping that people were gonna do this to Kendrick. All Kendrick did was say, okay, you trying to do that to me? I promise you, I got something for you. It's gonna backfire and it's gonna blow up in your face. And that's what happened. So you can't, I know Jay-Z might be trying to be like politically correct or something. Who knows what Jay-Z's doing? All I'm saying is you can't deny or avoid how Drake put himself in this position. You just can't, bro. You just can't. This is all on Drake. This is his fault. Everything that you're seeing happening to Drake is his fault. And there's evidence. There's all the things that you need to see to prove why.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's helpful to our growth where the fallout lands, especially on on social media, which takes place every day.
Yeah.
And now you have these pods of cult.
The Stan armies fighting.
Yeah, and it's like, it's too far.
Yeah.
It's like bringing kids in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't like that. Maybe I've grown in a space that is probably, I sound like the old guy wagging the finger. But I think we can.
Now, I'm not mad at that. Okay, when he's talking about, you got certain fan bases who are doxing people, putting people's addresses out there. You feel what I'm saying? Like going to other fans, right? To other people who are arguing about the music. If you get online and say, "Oh, Drake, boom, boom, boom," you're gonna have people posting your information over here, taking a picture of you know what I'm saying, your daughter or your son and posting it on the internet or whatever, whatever, right? And usually that's a part of the Barb's Drake side of things. You feel what I'm saying? Anything else, it's like people are dissecting what's being said in this battle, breaking down the lyrics, what's being said in this battle, and then adding validity to that based on what's already out there. But when you talk about, like what they was doing with Jay-Z, for example, you feel me? Jay-Z's kids, Kanye getting on the internet and talking about how Jay-Z's kid is whatever and whatever. You feel what I'm saying? The Nicki Minaj fans, you feel what I'm saying, who be going wild and all that. And I know that what we do a lot is we throw the word stan around a little too loosely too, right? We kind of loop everybody in to stand them. And when I think about stans, I think about Stan from the Eminem song. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's standing. The dude is literally the name of, so it kind of inhabits his behaviors. A lot of people are not behaving in that way. That's just reality. The amount of people who are behaving in that way is way smaller than the amount of people who are not. You feel what I'm saying? People dissecting the lyrics, people dissecting it and breaking down what Kendrick is talking about. Boom, boom, boom. This is the consequences of rap battling. It happens in the sport as well, right? When people get on the Hitman Holla and Murder Mook. When Hitman Holla got up there and said, oh, your apartment costs this much. You got a case out for beating your daughter or whatever. People started doing research to see if there was validity to this. That happens in battle rap. That's just what it is. That's battle rap. Okay? So from that perspective, that's why it's dangerous to get into a battle. That's why it's dangerous to go below the belt, because if your opponent does it too, now it's going to get dark. And people going to look and try to find the validity in these things. So from my perspective, it's like, I get what Jay-Z is saying too, as far as how far it goes where people are going back and forth with each other, or people are colluding right? Like how you see with the Drake fan base and basically, you know what I'm saying, with the whole fouls and all that different stuff. Of course, you can see why Jay-Z feel that way. They try to run with a whole narrative that he was in the fouls, right? So I completely understand where Jay-Z is coming from that perspective as far as the battle goes, because he's getting blamed for Drake losing a rap battle. Jay-Z is getting blamed for that because he put Kendrick on the Super Bowl. So I get all of that, but I don't think that that's finite, right? And I don't think that that they should be the reason. You feel what I'm saying? I just disagree with that.
Achieve the same thing as far as like sparring with music, with collaborations more so than breaking the whole thing apart.
Yeah.
It could stand it before because there was no social media and there was no thing, and you know, you had the battle and it was fun and then you moved on.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if it could stand it with the technology that we have.
Because it takes up so much oxygen.
It takes up so much oxygen.
Yeah.
And now it's just like every day they're just trying
Like they're
to
still
take,
talking about it.
It's not just talking about it. Not like, yo, this song I like this.
Yeah.
No, it's like trying to tear down the people's life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like trying to, you know, wreck this guy's marriage or this guy's relationship with his child. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth it at this at
You know what? And that's what I'm saying, like the things that he's referencing are things that, you know, once again, regardless of what took place, regardless of whatever, right? These things were always going on. These conversations have always gone on. But just like Jay-Z says, technology amplifies the conversation. That's it, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like the goal of the battle, in especially depending on how much issues are there, is to tear down your opponent. That's the goal. That's the point, right? The only problem is when you got one guy telling somebody that he abused his wife, right? And I think he's talking about the Drake fan base when you start talking about trying to ruin somebody's relationship with their wife. Even with the LeBron thing. You feel me? The LeBron thing where Drake didn't like that LeBron went to the pop out, so he started making songs about LeBron. He started making insinuations that LeBron was cheating on his wife, right? Threatening to put this type of information out, like insinuating that he would, insinuating that he has things on the low to try to ruin that. So I understand what they're talking about from that perspective. You feel me? However, right? These are the consequences of going below the belt when you did not have to go below the belt. Drake intended for this to be Kendrick Lamar. Drake intended for you to be having this conversation, what you're saying, about Kendrick Lamar. So what I ask is, what is Kendrick supposed to do, right? The fans obviously are not just gonna just look away, right? Especially when there was an opportunity for the battle to just come and go. There was an opportunity for the battle to just come and go. But who didn't allow it to come and go? That's what you got to be real about. Who was the person who played a strong instrument in not allowing the battle to come and go? Drake. The consistently referencing the battle. The lawsuits. The antics. The propaganda. The smearing because of the battle. Trying to get back at Kendrick in any way possible. All people are doing, right, like my account, is reacting, is responding, is countering the propaganda. So that's what's going on. People are upset that Drake lost the battle, and Drake is using that to his advantage. And so therefore, of course, people got to go out there and respond to this stuff. You feel me? But clearly, I think that's what Jay-Z is speaking to based on what he's saying here, right? And I can understand why Jay-Z would feel like, oh, people shouldn't be tearing down his character and all that different stuff. He probably don't really care. Jay-Z is in a whole different stratosphere as far as his lifestyle and the everyday person who's listening to these battles, right? But you got to understand, bro, Drake brought this upon himself.
at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's interesting.
Again, I love the idea that we got so much music in such a short period of time.
Great music.
Just everything around it was just like, man, it's like taking us a couple steps back,
Yeah.
and we just grown so much that I don't know if, I guess I'm gonna say it, I don't know if battling needs to be part of the culture anymore.
Interesting.
I hate that I have this point of view. I do, because I
Yeah.
know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like.
I disagree vigorously. Here's a response. Look, I can understand why Jay feel this way, bruh. Dude woke up and they were trying to act like he was legitimately in the Epstein files because they thought that he is the reason that Drake lost the battle. You feel what I'm saying? Why wouldn't he feel this way? Why wouldn't he feel this way? You feel what I'm saying? It make more sense coming from Jay-Z than it do J. Cole, right? Jay-Z is in a position where he's really getting his back kicked in, right? That's the difference. He's really getting his back kicked in because people think that he helped this battle. You feel what I'm saying? People are quite literally, right, trying to make it seem like he was in the goddamn Epstein files. And the propaganda is strong because of the many things and many years that are connected to Jay-Z and all this different stuff. The Illuminati videos, the boom, boom. This has been a big thing over fruition, right? This is even something I had to come out of recently, right? Where I'm looking at Jay-Z like, I ain't gonna lie, boom, boom. But in reality, it's like, bro, if a dude keeps showing you time and time again that, you feel me, it's nothing really that people are bringing to fruition, then it's like, you got to give it the benefit of the doubt and give the respect to where it's due. And I think that's really what it comes down to. But a lot of people, right, including, you know, the Nicki Minaj's of the world and all that, are using their audiences to smear Jay-Z. That's just reality. You feel me? That's what they're doing. So I think that I can understand why Jay-Z is saying all this. But at the same time, you can't let a stand-em that don't really have a lot of connection to the core of this hip-hop thing anyway be the reason that we stop doing it. That's crazy. That's like giving in. That's like saying, damn, like the people who are upset, right, which is anybody who don't really understand the rules of a battle, those are the people that's upset, right? Drake fans, J. Cole, not all Drake fans, but Drake fans, not all J. Cole fans, but J. Cole fans are the ones trying to rewrite what battles really are and how battles really work, right? Nicki Minaj fans jumping in doing that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Not all of them, but yeah. So you can't allow them to be the reason that we just say, you know what, let's just eliminate an entire pillar of hip hop. But you got to also understand Jay-Z's perspective. Jay-Z's coming from the perspective of somebody who has been dealing with a whole lot. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, you feel me? Like, of course he would feel like, God damn, this shit got out of hand. But I disagree vigorously. You feel what I'm saying? But I also understand Jay-Z's perspective. But hey, man, like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. Make sure that y'all show up to the live because we got a lot to talk about. It'll be around 1 o'clock. So y'all pull up, check that out, you feel me? And we're going to be lit. It's going to be great conversation, all right? I'm going to catch y'all later.